People in an organization have to agree upon one thing, and that's how that organization will conduct itself. And those are called standards. Every soldier should understand and fully comply with the standards, because without that, we can't call ourselves a profession.
From war movies and patriotic speeches to halftime flyovers and homecoming reunions, the American soldier is usually portrayed as brave, tough, and fiercely independent. What most civilians never see is the dense set of rules that follows that soldier everywhere, from the battlefield to the bar, from the voting booth to a late-night social media post. Military life is built on discipline, chain of command, and standards that do not end when the duty day is over. A soldier can face punishment not just for what happens in combat, but for how they speak online, who they spend their time with, what they wear, and even how they express political opinions. And because this world runs on rules, drop a comment and tell us which kind would be hardest for you to live under: speech rules, social rules, uniform rules, or combat rules. Once you see how deeply these standards shape everyday life, it becomes clear why the rules every soldier must follow would shock most Americans. No trashing superiors online.
So if you wouldn't feel comfortable saying something to an NCO or to an officer while in uniform, then it's probably not appropriate to post on Facebook. You're still accountable to the UCMJ and to all DoD policies and regulations, even when you're at home and you're not in uniform.
A lot of civilians treat social media like a pressure valve. Had a bad day at work? Vent online. In the military, that instinct can become a legal problem fast. Soldiers are expected to follow the Uniform Code of Military Justice at all times, even when they're off duty, at home, and posting from a personal account. That means talking negatively about supervisors, posting disrespectful comments about leaders, or sharing material that harms good order and discipline can trigger punishment. The logic is simple. A soldier does not stop representing the Army after clocking out, and a post seen by a few friends can spread to thousands before it's deleted. Sensitive information stays secret.
OPSEC is particularly important in a deployment situation. It's crucial that one is observant of it and doesn't post information about troop movements, dates, locations. This is particularly coming into play with geotagging.
For civilians, posting a photo from work may be harmless. For soldiers, the wrong photo or casual detail can create a real security risk. Troop movements, locations, schedules, or other operational details can help hostile actors piece together a bigger picture. That's why soldiers are constantly reminded that the enemy is watching. The concern is not just embarrassment, it's danger. One careless post can put fellow soldiers and even military families at risk, which is why online oversharing is treated far more seriously than most Americans would expect. You cannot be a soldier only when convenient.
We serve the people of the United States. We live the Army values. Modeling that behavior day in and day out is fundamental to how we bring value 24/7 to not only to the Army, but to the United States of America.
Many people assume military rules apply only on base or in uniform. In reality, the expectation is round-the-clock conduct. The standard follows soldiers into restaurants, private gatherings, and online spaces. The phrase 24/7 is not just motivational language, it is a real standard of behavior. That makes military service feel very different from an ordinary job. A civilian can leave the office and become a private person. A soldier still answers to military discipline after hours, and that constant accountability surprises people who assume personal time means total freedom. Fraternization has sharp limits.
So, you want to date a fellow soldier. Are you aware of the Army's policies on fraternization? First, check the rank. Is this person in your chain of command?
Most Americans would find it strange that simply socializing with certain people can raise legal concerns. In the military, relationships across rank lines can be seen as a threat to fairness, discipline, and the chain of command. It's not just romance that matters. Friendships, business ties, and even repeated casual socializing can create problems. The issue is whether the relationship appears to compromise judgment or favoritism. Team bonding is one thing. Building a personal relationship that clouds authority is another. In that world, even having drinks together after an event can cross a line if it weakens confidence in impartial leadership. Politics comes with boundaries.
Be very careful about what you say. Make sure you're clear on when you can and cannot be wearing a uniform. Make sure you understand the difference between your rights as a citizen and your responsibilities as a soldier.
Soldiers do have personal political opinions, but expressing them is not as simple as it is for civilians. While off-duty and out of uniform, they may generally express personal views. But once they're on duty, in uniform, or acting in a way that looks official, the rules tighten considerably. They cannot take part in partisan political activity in uniform, present themselves as advocates for a party or candidate while serving in an official capacity, or post in ways that imply military endorsement. Even something as simple as sharing or reposting partisan campaign material while on duty can become a serious issue. Contempt for officials can be punishable. Most Americans are used to speaking harshly about politicians. Soldiers face a different reality. Under military law, contemptuous words aimed at certain public officials can become punishable conduct. That includes the president, vice president, Congress, senior defense officials, and even certain state leaders in the place where the soldier is serving. This rule feels shocking because it cuts against the modern habit of loud political criticism. But the military's view is that public contempt from those in uniform can damage discipline and confidence in the chain of command. In that setting, speech is not judged the same way as it is on the outside. The uniform is not just clothing.
It was exceptionally thorough. Your hat had to be perfectly starched, your uniform immaculately pressed, your belt buckle shiny and void of any smudges. But it seemed that no matter how much effort you put into starching your hat or pressing your uniform or polishing your belt buckle, it just wasn't good enough.
To civilians, a uniform may look like a dress code. In the Army, it functions more like an enforceable order. Rules govern hair, facial hair, patches, insignia, tattoos, fit, and where specific uniforms may be worn. Even small deviations can become official violations if they are repeated or defiant. Most minor mistakes are corrected on the spot. But once a soldier refuses to fix the issue, the problem is no longer about appearance. It becomes a matter of obeying lawful orders. That's how a haircut, tattoo issue, or unauthorized patch can snowball into major disciplinary action. Using the uniform for personal gain is dangerous.
So don't go shopping in uniform, don't go protest in uniform, don't go drinking at the bar in uniform, a lot of stuff. Just if you're off duty, go home, change, get out of uniform.
A soldier can't casually use the uniform or official identity to sell products, promote a business, or imply military endorsement of private ventures. That includes presenting a personal account in a way that makes it look like an official Defense Department platform. This is one of those rules that catches people off guard because influencer culture has made personal branding seem normal. In the military, however, using rank, symbols, or uniformed status to boost a private cause or profit from attention can be treated as unethical private gain and punished accordingly. War still has rules.
Rules of engagement governing ground conflict in urban areas. 1. If possible, the enemy will be warned first, then asked to surrender.
Many civilians assume war is the place where all restraints disappear. In fact, soldiers are bound by laws that can seem surprisingly restrictive. Civilians cannot be the object of attack. Hospitals and medical zones are off limits. Safe passage for non-combatants matters. Even warnings before attacks may be required in some circumstances to reduce civilian harm. There are also bans on pillaging for personal gain, using certain deceptive disguises, and employing weapons or traps considered indiscriminate. These rules may sound counterintuitive in combat, but they exist because modern warfare is still supposed to recognize a line between fighting an enemy and targeting everyone around them. Even small failures can carry big consequences.
What I did was wrong. It's a criminal offense. And the Marine Corps needed to do what they needed to do. Yes, I think justice has been served here.
A lot of military rules become shocking when you realize how small the trigger can be. Being late to the appointed place of duty is not brushed off as poor time management. It can be treated as absence without leave. Straggling behind can become an offense. Faking sickness, exaggerating injury, or trying to dodge duty can bring severe punishment. And the consequences are not always mild. Depending on the case, punishment can range from counseling and reprimands to Article 15 penalties, loss of rank, forfeiture of pay, confinement, or even court-martial. In civilian life, many of these actions would be handled with a warning. In military life, they can change a career overnight. Now it's time to hear from you. Which of these military rules surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments section below.